of the money and all that was going on.
Yeah, the Reebok deal was crap. That was the first thing. I was like, man, that's kind of crappy. And
Yeah.
then just his over reliance on McGregor and putting Jones right back in the title shot after he came back. Um,
Which
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I love listening to McGregor. I mean, it's just old school, uh, 1980s wrestling trash talk. I mean,
Yeah, he's great, but it was like for me, I just felt like it was unfair for him to hold up that belt for so long. Like I
oh
think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
just and
yeah.
Dana should as soon as he accepted the Mayweather fight, I feel like Dana should have took the title away from him. Just said, okay, when you get
But
ready to come back, we'll
but
have it for you.
Dana won't stand up to any of them.
I know that's the thing with Dana. Like he'll talk garbage about some people, and then but with his top guys, he doesn't talk garbage. Last time I heard him talk garbage about a top guy was probably when Anderson Silva defended the belt against that guy that laid on his back, and he blamed Silva for it. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
Was it Damian Maya that did that? I can't remember,
it may be in.
but he doesn't talk crap about anyone on top. I just don't
Well,
like him. He's getting on my
except
nerves.
who's it? Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, which is crap because Johnson's probably the best, one of the best fighters in the world.
He just, I don't know. That's just the weight class. There's nobody. He won't go out and get anybody. Um, that's
Did you
like,
read? Did you read what Johnson? Did you read the whole thing that Johnson put out?
mm-mm.
So you know what? I can't Ed. I can't remember his last name or whatever. But the last guy he beat, something happened before that, and the guy pulled out of a fight, and he
Oh
wanted to
yeah,
fight Dillashaw. And he said, basically, he said, no. He said, I'm not fighting Dillashaw. You're nuts. He said, I'm not ready for that fight. And Ray Borg, I think.
hmm
And Dana pretty much like blasted him over the media. Wasn't going to give him, I guess, some kind of ranking points or something for it. I can't remember what it was, something weird. But I was like, man, that's just like, he's one of your best fighters. Like, you should be promoting the crap out of him.
yeah. He just picks and chooses like Rousey. I mean, he
Yeah.
just kept throwing her because they're money machines. That's all he uses them for is to make more money.
And that sucks, man. I mean, I know you have to make money, but in the same sense, it's like, I don't think nobody likes working for the UFC. And at some point, that's going to benefit Bellator or
Yeah,
Bellator.
I mean, there's a lot of good fighters in Bellator. They just won't give them a fair shot because they're in Bellator. Even
Yeah.
um, guy whoever his business partner was, or the booking uh, manager of the UFC for a long time. Um,
Oh crap! I forgot his name. I know who you're talking
yeah,
about though.
Forenza, or
Hmm.
it starts with a F, whatever his name was. And he said they got some people from Bellator that were champions, and they made them take like two or three fights before they would give them a title shot.
Yeah.
Because if they went in and won right straight out of Bellator, then it would just prove that they were better.
Well, it's just like we see Jake Shields, the Lombard guy. Um,
Well, Jake Shields, he did throw in pretty quick.
he had one fight, I think. Then he jumped
Yeah,
in. Yeah. Which that's when GSP was like Super Saiyan. So
yeah,
I mean, his fights was boring, but he didn't really have to do much. I think I appreciate boring fights now than what I used to. Like I do. Like people like complain about him a lot. I was like, but really, it's kind of like I've said this before. Kind of like watching Jordan when he was younger, and you kind of want everybody to beat Jordan type of thing. Now you look back and you're just like, man, kind of I should have rooted for Michael Jordan.
he was so good.
He's so good. Now you look at like GSP and you're like, man, that guy was just good. Like he
Nope,
just
I
was
still don't
good.
like GSP. I mean,
Yeah.
he was good, but
Oh, I don't
even
like him, but
even in that last fight where he won the belt or whatever, like there was so much controversy over it. Or no, I guess it wasn't the last. So it was that last fight he fought Johnny Hendricks, then he retired, and Johnny Hendricks
yeah,
beat the crap
beat the
out of
crap
him,
out of him. Yeah.
and they gave him the fight.
Joe, did you fart in your phone? I can't even hear you.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a tunnel.
No, I don't think your mic's on.
You're in a tunnel.
Well, knowing Joey's nope. That's a buzz.
What is?
He's picking up that text message.
Oh yeah, I just texted you. Sorry.
What about now?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
there
you
you
now.
go.
Why is it not? It's picking me up off my phone.
Go to your settings and switch it to external mic or whatever.
I mean, I shouldn't have to.
Well, that's what happened to me the last time we recorded. For some reason, my Mac was like, "You're not going to do that. Let's go fix it."
That's your Mac. I'm on my phone.
Well, there should still be a preference on your phone.
There is.
Well, he's got a Samsung, but there should still be a preference on there or
on the
options or
app.
settings. Yeah.
There is. You
Oh yeah, I forgot
like
about the app.
I can click on it and bring it up in the upper top hand. It's got a pair of headphones beside the sync button, so you should be able to go up there and switch it to your headphones.
Nope.
Not even on the app.
I'm on the app.
Well, hold up. I didn't know you didn't say you was on the app. You really want to mix this up right now? Sean's watching the
Oscars.
Oscars, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Did you finish Singing in the Rain?
Yep.
It's awesome, isn't it?
It was pretty good. I was a little disappointed.
Really? What
Yeah.
disappointed you?
I guess it was so slow. Like,
Jared said he was disappointed in Singing in the Rain. Oh, you just got the face.
now I like the sound of music.
He likes the sound of music better, though.
Like it had me from the beginning. This I don't know, Singing in the Rain. The last 30, 45 minutes really drew you in, but it just took a while.
I will
to
say
get
this
there.
about Singing in the Rain: there's some movies that don't come off as musicals, like they're very kind of natural in what they do. Singing in the Rain came off like a Broadway production, which is fine.
Yeah,
I liked it, but it did come off more like a stage play than a movie to a certain extent. We should save this. I mean, you should do a podcast on Singing in the Rain. We should do like a classic movie podcast. That gets me watching more classic movies.
well, I'm watching West Side Story right now. So,
Have you seen West Side Story? I haven't. I haven't seen that one.
Well,
It's
on the list.
I can hear you.
It sounds good. It's on the list. I've got 20 left.
Ooh. Out of those 20s, which one are you not looking forward to?
Some of the I think there's a couple from like 1920 or something.
Those silent films?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which I've watched a couple already. I can't remember the guy, what his name was. He did a couple, and then there was, oh gosh, there was one that was on Amazon I was able to stream for free, so that helped out. But still, some of them are hard to get through. But like,
did you watch Nosferatu?
Yeah, I've seen it. That one's not bad. Gosh, what was the name? Or the Groucho Marx ones. Those are easy to get through. Charlie Chaplin, he's got 3 movies on the list, and I loved every one of those.
Which one's the one about Hitler?
The Dictator.
The Dictator. I think I need to watch that. I've never seen it.
The Gold Rush. Gold Rush was fantastic. I don't know if that one was my favorite or the. I think me and you watched one here one night where he was in love with the blind girl.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Man, that one was good.
That was pretty good.
But I do laugh, but her being blind is not cool.
It was a good movie. It was funny.
It was.
I think it's funny that one that one I thought was really funny, and then Hear No Evil, See No Evil. Apparently, I have a thing for funny, deaf, and blind movies. I guess
because that movie is funny.
That is
Richard
hilarious.
Pryor.
Yep.
All their movies really are funny they've done together.
I need to watch the rest of them. I haven't watched the rest of them.
He did 4 of them, I think. I think I've got, after he died, Gene Wilder died, I put a couple of them on my Amazon list. Silver Streak, and there was like one more, and we watched one of them, and it wasn't as good as Hear No Evil, See No Evil. I mean, that's hard to beat.
That is hard to beat. Daniel's running just a few minutes behind. We are on air. I like the cold opening thing. You know, sometimes it works. So figure we was talking about some cool stuff. Joe, are you in a better mood now?
I've always been in a good mood.
You didn't sound like it before, man. Are you okay?
I've always been in a good mood.
So, Joe, here's my idea for me and you to do a stream.
Okay.
I thought about doing a NBA 2K18 stream once I get the game. I have to buy it for PS4 too, but we could do like an all-time tournament.
Okay.
And not use all the teams, just use like the NBA playoffs, but figure out which teams we want to do.
Do you really want everybody to see you get beat?
Would you like to tell Jerry what happened last time that we faced in 2K18?
Yeah, I played with Allen Iverson, Jared, and that was about all that was on that team.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you were so good, you could play with anybody. You could draft Taco Wallace as your point guard, and you could beat me. But apparently, I was raining threes on his head. Remind me of when we used to play in the backyard, raining threes on your head.
Yeah. Keep talking.
As long as it didn't go in the swimming pool, right?
Oh, it didn't matter. If it went to swimming pool, he got 10 points. Him and Caleb make up scores.
Was it you that fell off the ladder in the swimming pool and almost drowned?
Yeah, because he's dumb.
Excuse me. It was a botched spot, and I jumped. Okay, and
you're too fat to be a Hardy boy.
He's the third Hardy brother.
He's the Harty brother. H-A-R, Harty Har.
And that would have been a good gimmick.
That would have been a good gimmick. That's what I was working on.
You just have the random third Hardy brothers show up and botch a spot every time.
The fat cousin from way back in the woods.
He'd be the Spike Dudley of the Hardy Boys.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be the opposite. That would actually work because it'd be opposite of what Spike Dudley is. I'm short and fat versus short and skinny.
Hey, Jared, remember the time y'all painted the house and he was scared to get up on the ladder on the second story?
He was scared to get up on the ladder on any story.
But he would play that stupid game that y'all made up where you could see how high you could climb on the ladder before it fell.
Well, listen, guys. Let's be honest. I knew I wasn't going to get high up on that ladder anyway, so it didn't matter.
Do you remember when he would sit in the chair and paint?
I remember going to Key West for 2 weeks and thinking y'all would be finished by the time I got back, and you only had that one side painted.
No, we had more. We had more than that painted. We got a lot more.
We got a lot done.
We got a lot done. The only thing that we left was that one spot above Mom and Dad's Dad's office, and that stupid green in the on the porch. That's the only thing we had left.
It's still not painted.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't live there anymore, so.
But the ladder trick, Joe, we saw somebody at camp do it because they climbed up one side down the other, and we were like, "Well, that looks easy."
It was those BMX guys, remember?
Yeah, I think I might get to the third rung. Yeah, we almost sent it through the window, your dad's office window one time.
You're all a little too top heavy to do that.
That's probably true. I don't know, unathletic and all that stuff that goes along with that.
I remember Jared being up there painting the second story, like where the living room was in the second story.
Yeah.
And me coming up and put my butt right in your face when you were painting.
I remember that too. I also remember getting there at like 8:30 when I was supposed to get there, and Aaron
And he'd still
not
be
get out of
asleep.
bed till yeah, he wouldn't get out of bed till like 10.
Like probably 11, then you ought to eat lunch and watch a movie, and then you wouldn't paint anymore.
we watch a full movie.
Man, it was some great lunch breaks.
Yeah,
We watched
8-hour
a
lunch
couple
breaks.
ROH. Watched a couple ROH DVDs.
Yep.
Watched,
Man, I had a pretty good haul today.
Where'd you go?
McKay's over in Knoxville.
Yeah.
I got 1 through, or I'm missing 2 and 6, but pretty much 1 through 7 of Sandman. And then got some Hellboys. And I got East and West, 1, 2, 3, East and West, and then one called Moonshine. It looked pretty cool.
Easy. I'm supposed to bring that across state lines, Joe.
It looked pretty cool.
No, you can.
Looks like there's a werewolf in it.
I've watched, or I've read the first 3. Yeah, I think the first 3 East and West.
Yeah, that's what I
I've
got.
got 'em.
First 3.
Yeah, it's really good.
I heard it was really good, and they had them for everything was about $4 cheaper than what it was on Amazon. So I was like, I'll get it.
You can't beat that.
Nope. And then I got a little Rocket Raccoon Pop Funko figure. There's a lot more I wanted, but I didn't want to spend like $300.
It's a bad thing about going to some of those stores. You see everything you want.
Yeah.
I've actually two times I went there. I haven't bought anything. Last 2 times I went there, which is, I mean, saying a lot for me because I usually buy something. But
I just kind of woke up and didn't feel like being home, so I just went to Knoxville. It's only like 30 minutes further than going to Bristol from Mom and Dad's house.
Did you go down through Lee County? Or
Yeah.
Down through Jonesville?
Yep.
That's not too bad then.
Hogs and cotton capital of the world.
we laugh about that. We really probably shouldn't, but
well,
it's true, man. Channel One News said it. Remember Channel One News?
Yeah, I remember Channel One News.
Yeah, they done a news story on it, and that's what they called it. Capital of the world.
Well, I remember, I think it was my senior year, Times News had done an article, and it was number 2 only behind San Francisco.
Boy, talk about 2 different worlds there.
I mean, how many million people live in San Francisco, and there's like 10,000, maybe 10,000 people in Lee County.
Apparently, San Francisco has a problem with people pooping on the sidewalk.
Because their homeless population's so high.
They made urination in public legal.
Did they?
Last year?
Well,
yeah.
I guess.
We started to go.
I left my poop in San Francisco.
I was listening to John Bombcast, and they talked about like people just. He was like, it just smells so bad in certain spots because that's where everybody goes to the bathroom at.
Yeah. No, we started to go into San Francisco when we were out that way, but we decided not to because they said it's crazy traffic downtown.
They said San Francisco is really weird. Like downtown's really nice, and everything else is not. Like, just really strange kind of place.
Hey, Jared, guess where I'm going at the end of this month?
Where?
Chicago. Guess what I'm gonna do while I'm there?
Eat some deep dish pizza.
Well,
some Chicago style.
And I'm gonna see the almighty Norma Jean.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Guess where I'm going at the end of next month.
Where?
To Spain, Italy, Portugal,
Oh, it is
Greece.
That's close, isn't there?
Yeah, 57 days.
There you go.
Are you going to get a surgery while you're in Spain?
For what?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've read Yeah, I read where it's pretty cheap. Like for the cost it takes to replace a hip here, you can go over to Spain and live for like a year and have the hip surgery too.
Pretty much. There was a guy that that worked with us for, he wasn't there very long, but he was saving up his money to go down to Mexico so he could go to the dentist and they'd work on his teeth. And I was like, but you have dental insurance here. I mean, it's pretty cheap, but still, he was going to go down to Mexico and get his teeth fixed. So
I'm pretty sure that there's some mountain dentist around here that would do it for that cheap.
Yeah, you can find them, especially when you have insurance and they can bill it the right way.
Yeah,
it's weird to see Dave Chappelle in the Oscars.
Chappelle Show, yeah, Chappelle Show.
I haven't seen Dave Chappelle in a long time.
What was that movie he was in? That was really good.
Not
Half-Baked.
Half-Baked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Red Man and Method Man.
Yeah.
Then Jimmy Brewer. Have you ever heard Jim Brewer talk about how he landed that role? Just because he looks high all the time. He
Jim
said,
Brewer?
"I'm not." Yeah, he said, "I'm not high," but he said, "I just look high all the time. It's a curse."
Isn't he high all the time?
I think I did listen. Maybe wasn't Jim Brewer on one of Jericho's early podcasts?
I think so.
I think near the beginning, and he might have talked about that.
I remember watching his stand-up way back.
He also told a story about how he used to work at like a hardware store in the paint department, and he hated this dude that started working there, and he called him like a fake bomb threat back in like at the first Gulf War. Oh, it's so great.
Joe, you're breaking up real bad.
You're breaking up.
Jeez. There you go again. Bad attitude. Well, look at this diva showing up late.
What's up, guys? Sorry about that. Hey, I made it.
Man, it's a wonder we ever got a paper out with an EIC like you, man. I don't know.
How late am I?
About 20 minutes.
No way. You guys been
it's 10:20.
I've been on for 30 minutes.
I didn't ask how long you've been on. I said how long we've been going.
I said, well, I did start recording around 10 o'clock, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's okay, you know.
So I'm sorry.
We can't talk about how long I've been on. That's attorney-client privilege.
Is that what you're doing? You're working on Joe's case?
Yes. I'm always working on Joe's case.
That's a lot of paperwork.
I've always got a case somewhere.
I'd hate to see his file.
This time he's working on one where
Jared, he doesn't have a file. He has a filing cabinet.
No. Just painted Joe across the side of it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I do have a good story for you, a good lawyer story for you. Sort of a lawyer story. So I was like you guys know, I'm a prosecuting attorney.
You say this on there without getting in trouble?
Yeah. I'm a prosecuting attorney, so in Virginia at least, I get some perks, like some law enforcement perks. Like I get a badge, like I could technically wear a gun if I want to, but I had lost my badge for the longest time. I just couldn't find it anywhere, and I finally found it the other day in the bottom of my car. So I was like, oh man, finally! So I just wore it the other day. I just wore it on my belt, and I went to GameStop and was just looking around and ended up buying a game. And I kind of started talking with the guy at the front desk because the price that he quoted, what he told me it was, and the price on the package wasn't the same. So I was like, no, man, this says 31. And he's like, oh no, you got to be an Elite Rewards member, like Elite Pro or whatever, or Elite Super Duper Platinum or whatever. So we were talking, and then the girl, there was another girl who said, oh, you've got a badge, we can help you with that. So they gave me a discount because I had a badge on. And I was like, oh, man, this is awesome. I'm going to wear this badge every day. I'm going to wear it everywhere. But I went to Lowe's after that I had to get some stuff. And I was just kind of noticing people. And, it was right on my belt buckle, real close to the center of my belt. And I noticed people weren't really looking at me. They were looking at my badge. So like every time somebody looked at me, they were like looking at my crotch area. Okay. Like everyone I saw, I felt so objectified. It wasn't even funny. I told Selena this must be
looking at your badge.
Yeah, but they weren't looking at my face. Like they were like looking in my general direction and then like looking straight at my crotch.
I was looking at your genital direction.
Exactly. That's good.
Oh,
That's good. As soon as that happened, I was like, I got to tell the guys about this. I can't wait to tell this.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there.
There are actually places you could go for lunch and they'd give it to you for free just because you have a badge on.
Yeah, probably could.
Daniel, prostitution at law.
Daniel's just gonna show up to places, expect stuff for free. Like in terms of a gas station, like
I just be like, hey,
free.
Hey. Yeah.
I had a
really
friend.
like the shirt, got a badge, it's free.
Lawyers' life matter.
It almost feels like a protection racket or something. It's like, hey, you want me to take care of you? You better see this. You want to be safe next time? You better give me this for free. I want these Cheetos.
I had a friend and he worked for the
You don't
sheriff's
even ask though.
department.
You just open it up and start eating Cheetos. Like I got a badge.
It's okay.
I'll take a liter of cola.
This is for your safety. You should be thanking me.
Oh jeez.
What were you
Daniel,
saying, Jared?
I had a friend and he worked for the sheriff's department, and there were certain places that they would only go eat just so they could get it for free.
Well,
I was like,
happen.
man.
That must happen at Monterey's today because like all of Norton Police was at Monterey's today. I was like, whoa, I feel safe. Or county. I'm sorry, it was county. It was county. It was there, not Norton. We rolled up and was like, where's all the... We looked, I was like, man, it's really busy. And like a whole like row of parking spots was just all cop cars. I was like, oh, wow.
Who's protecting everybody else?
That'd be a really good time to heist the bank right now. Oh.
I told you to call me when that happens. God. It's a Sunday. There's no banks open.
Joe, your lawyer sitting right here.
Good.
All right.
He can protect me.
Welcome to episode number 50 of the Monsters of Geek. Yes, number 50 of the Monsters of Geek podcast.
Man, 50, wow.
Man, this is the big 5-0. We're almost complete here. Andrew's on vacation. He's in Hawaii, I think.
Wait,
Where's that?
how great is it that we was just talking about cops and it's the big 5-0?
That's true. Hawaii. And we just said Hawaii. Is that the name of that show? Hawaii 5-0?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
yeah, it was.
Look at that. All
Was
comes together, episode 50.
Hawaii the 50th state?
What people... Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
What people don't know is we've got the episode 50, and from here on out, we're going to talk about all the episodes of Hawaii 5-0. That's what the new podcast now. So,
The new one or the old one?
the new one. We're starting at episode number 1 of Hawaii 5-0.
Where they made Japanese people play Hawaiian people?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched one episode of Hawaii 5-0.
I've never watched it. I just remember reading a story on it.
Yeah, you would read a story on that.
Well, don't. It's not nothing bad.
Why'd you bring it up?
It was just how, I don't know. I can't remember what it was about, but I just remember that fact. Maybe that Hollywood's racist, I think, is what it's about.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll have a new one, a new Hawaii 5-0 on CBS or something like that.
They used to.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched CBS in forever. But yeah, so I hope we haven't tuned out of episode 50 of the Monsters Geek podcast yet. We are not a Hawaii 5-0 podcast, but we do talk about some geeky stuff. And I guess Hawaii 5-0 vintage TV would count for that. But yeah, so really appreciate you guys listening. And if you subscribe, thank you for subscribing. Our last episode was just put up, I think, a couple days ago. And that's my fault. My whole household has been pretty sick. And with work and everything else, I just didn't really get a chance to do it. And it really kind of came down to I was trying to do a new intro for it because that's not a numbered episode. Just a little special edition episode. And I was sick and I was going to do it. Then I realized that I sound like a toad. And so I decided that probably wouldn't be the best to record a new intro. So, but yeah, so number 50. Now, after this, what we'll probably do is start with, we'll kind of do a restart, kind of like a reboot. We'll put up some of our past episodes in terms of ones that aren't so heavily, I guess, dated in terms of when we did it, and really doesn't have that much to talk about in terms of that hold up well in terms of now. So we've been re-up for a year on Spreaker, and I'll try to load some different ones up that I feel like are still relevant, and maybe new listeners maybe want to listen to. So I know Andrew saw Black Panther, and so we'll probably have a discussion on that once I go see it, and everybody else that wants to go see it, and we may do a little special episode on Black Panther, maybe. But yeah, so guys, thank you. We got Daniel here today. We got Yeti, and we've got Jared here today, and we've got some cool stuff. But before we do that, if this is your first episode, we do a little segment called "What Have You Been Up To?" And basically, what we do, we talk about what we've watched, what we've read, what we've played, whatever in our geeky lives, and we kind of just catch up with each other and just talk a little bit. So, Daniel, you're my first little square right here.
All right.
I'll let you kick us off there.
X takes the square.
I've been doing. Let's see what I've been playing a little bit of everything, just trying different things. Not really gotten into anything too heavy, but I have been trying to start Mass Effect again, Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'm enjoying it so far. I got to when I first started it, I was having trouble because my character, inevitably, whenever I play a BioWare game, my character always looks terrible the first time I make them. So, they look good when you make them, and then you actually put them in cutscenes and stuff, and they just look terrible. So, I kept waiting to get around to like where you can actually edit your character in the game, which BioWare has been good about that the last several games they've done. Like they have somewhere in the game where you can readjust your character, to make it look better. So I finally got my character created the way I wanted her, and looks a lot better. And I'm enjoying the game. The only problem is that I'm having trouble getting anywhere in it because it seems like every time I turn it on, it's on for like 10 minutes, and then I've got one child crying, or I've got Celinda telling me I need to do something, or something. So it's such a long game that I can only play it in like 10-minute spurts, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to beat it like that. But so far I'm enjoying it. That's about the biggest one I've been playing lately.
On episode number 500, Daniel finally gets by Mass Effect Andromeda.
Do it the first playthrough, yeah. Yeah, but that's the main one I've been playing, and I'm trying to think if I've played any fun games just recently, but I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. So
are you liking it so far? I know the last episode we talked about, if you didn't listen, is our kind of 2017 year in review for games, and we had pretty good discussion on EA and Mass Effect and some other things, but mostly Mass Effect. How you liking it so far? I know you say you kind of played in a little bit of spurts here or there. Have you read into anything that was like, oh, I can see why people didn't like this?
I mean, there's the things that I don't like about the game. Like it seems like there's a lot going on. Like you can do research and development and adjust weapons, and I'm having trouble getting a hold of everything. Like it seems like there's a lot going on all at once, so I'm having trouble staying on mission and staying the course. But the funnest thing for me is always like talking to your squad mates. That's the funnest. That's what makes the game fun for me. So right. Like a lot of times I'll just do main missions, and I just can't wait to get back to my ship to talk to everybody, because everybody will have got new dialogue and new things to say. So so with that part, I'm enjoying it so far. But we'll see if I can get through it. I'll be able to give you all a better idea.
Have they did anything in terms of visuals? I know a lot of the character models had some really bad things going on with them. Have you noticed anything in terms of that? Have you noticed like maybe they look a little bit better than what they did when it was launched?
I started it when it came out, and then I've just recently started it. My creative character still looks terrible, but it seemed like maybe they were a little better. Like I know they worked on the eyes some to make the eyes look a little more realistic, but for me, really, I thought it was overblown. Yeah, I thought the criticism was really overblown. I mean, every BioWare game is been using the same engine for
Right.
for a little while. So I mean, none of it bothered me really. I mean, you expect to see some of those glitches. So,
do you think that was a big problem? Them using the engine from last time?
Well, apparently it was. Yeah,
you got to think they probably started this game on the PS3, right?
I don't know, maybe, but I know they've been using the same engine, and I think we talked about it. But the guy at Kotaku, Jason, and I never can pronounce his last name, Schreier. He went in depth about how hard it was for them to use that engine, whatever engine they were using, I think it shows, that you can tell that graphically it's not up to where other games are. You just compare it to like Horizon, where they, the voices, the facial animations were spot on, and the conversations were the same, were very similar. So there's that, but I do think, so far from what I've seen, I think the criticism was overblown.
Okay.
But so,
Joe, what have you been up to, man?
No, just kidding. Playing some games and watching some shows.
Would you like to elaborate on those?
Which one?
Well, you've been watching. You're more of a TV guy than a lot of us are. What have you been watching lately?
Well, I just finished Mindhunter on Netflix. And if you haven't watched it, it's super good.
What's the premise on that?
Is that based on a true story, or are they just like real cases, or what?
It's based on a true story.
Okay.
I can't remember the real FBI agent it's based off of the top of my head, but so it's the FBI. It's the start of their criminal psychology department. And so they're the first episode, you see them going around talking to these cops, telling them stuff, and then one of the younger agents, there's in California, and he went to visit Ed Kemper, and gets infatuated by the stuff that he tells them, and figures that they could learn a lot about the psychology of these killers. So they go around interviewing different. They don't really have a name for them until the 6th or 7th episode, and they finally figure out that they're gonna start calling them serial killers. But yeah, it's super good. It's only 10 episodes, so it's kind of a quick watch.
Is that a Netflix thing, or is it?
Yeah, it's a Netflix exclusive. But it's really good if you like stuff like that. What else? What's something else too? Oh, I started The Magicians, which they took a lot of liberties with the first season with the book, which is okay, I guess. It's an alright show.
Which you're a big fan of the books, right?
Oh yeah, I like the books a lot. The show, there's a couple things I can nitpick, but it's almost like a totally different type of story almost with the show, because a lot of the characters changed from what they were in the books. And then I finally finished the second book of the Kingslayer Chronicles, which is, the first one's Name of the Wind, second one is The Wise Man Fear, and the third one hasn't came out yet because Patrick Rufus hasn't finished it, or Rothfuss, and I wish he would finish it, but he hasn't yet. So if you want to read really good fantasy books, those are really good books, but don't get your hopes up on the third one just yet.
I think I ended up getting. I think I got the first one for Shauna, and I was looking into it, and the last one's still pretty far away from the way he talks.
Yeah, he don't like the fact that they're trying to push him to put it out.
Gotcha.
I started to buy it one time. I think they had it for $1.99 on one of their Amazon deals of the day or something.
Yeah, I've got I got the physical copy of the first book, but I went back. I've gotten what's the audiobook thing?
Oh,
Audible.
yeah.
Audible. Yeah, I got Audible, and I have like 6 free books on there because it takes a while to listen to a book when
Yeah.
you just listen to it going to work. But I'm back. But I started listening to it, the first one, because I've read it, but I wanted to listen to the series, so I've listened to the first one, and then I hadn't read the second one yet, so I just got finished listening to it yesterday, and it's a really good series, super good. I wish that like I said, I wish he would put more out. I've not. There's a 2.5 book based on another character in the books, but I've not read it yet. I'll probably just end up buying it because it's only like $12, and I don't want to use a free credit on it. So, um, then I've been playing some Dragon Age Inquisition again.
Well, you're just medievaling out over there, huh?
Right, I am, yeah. And I've been reading, and I've been reading my super big pile of trades that I've got. It keeps growing every day because I can't stop buying them. But
Well, here's the thing. and I'll touch on that for just a second. So we have a store up here in I don't know where else it is, but we got a store called Ollie's, which gets a bunch of really cheap stuff, and sometimes that stuff is actually pretty good stuff, like toys and stuff. Basically, it's either like overflow or like what they call like pallet stuff that they get for super cheap. And they sell it for super cheap, but still make a profit. And I kept seeing online people always having these big comic book blowouts and stuff like that. And so I went up there one day and they had stuff that, like, for example, Joe got a bunch of stuff. I got a Starman Volume 4 Omnibus, $50 book for $4. It's a hardcover. And they had just a bunch of DC stuff. And I picked up most of the stuff as far as Starman stuff I wanted, but there was some good stuff up there. I mean, some Morrison Batman and just some really cool stuff.
There's some Neil Adams Batman, a couple of the, I think it's like volume 3 and 4 or something.
Yeah, had a bunch of the showcases.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got I mean, the first day I went up there, I got about 8 for, I think it was like $30 or something like that. And then I went up there a week ago, I guess, and got another big pile of like 15 for like $60. So, and then today I just bought a bunch from another store in Knoxville that I told y'all about. Spend a little bit more on those, but still, I can't stop buying them, and I hate it because I'm so behind now.
When you get hardcovers for like $2 or $3, I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, it's basically free for a hardcover if you think about it. Especially like DC and Marvel. I mean, their hardcovers usually run $30 to $60 just for regular stuff. So, it's pretty good stuff. It's like yard sale prices.
Yeah, like I've been reading Superman versus Mongol. The cover price is $15. It was $3.
Can't beat that.
No. Most of it was DC stuff. I didn't see a lot of Marvel up there.
There was not much Marvel stuff. I kind of wanted more Marvel stuff, but there wasn't much.
But yeah, I got the first volume of Starman. They wasn't hard. This one wasn't hard. The fourth volume was hardcover, but the first one was like a paperback. But it was like $4, and it's normally $30 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
I'll talk about Starman a little bit later. So, Jarrett, what have you been up to, man?
Well, I hadn't been playing any video games lately, but we did get Lucy Minecraft for the PS4.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so she's been playing that a lot. At first, I had to help her, and now she knows more about it than I do.
Dad now, right?
I don't even pick it up anymore. I did at first, just trying to help him out. Even Molly, which she's only 4, so I think I helped her build a house at first, and now she does pretty much all her own stuff. So
Minecraft is like this generation's Legos.
Yeah, pretty much. We've been trying to, get them into video games for a while, like playing Mario and stuff. Because, I mean, when I was 4, I could get to like World 4.2 or 4.3 on Super Mario Brothers. So like Lucy 7, she has trouble making it past level 1 too. So,
bunch of lightweights.
She's more into. Yeah, I know exactly. I'm like, I get so aggravated. I'm like, you have to jump and move at the same time. And then I'm like, you can hold the button in and run, and then jump. It doesn't connect there. So
I think it's funny we're talking about someone not being able to push a button and run and jump at the same time when all of us can't run and jump. For real.
But I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched, which I told you all about. I watched The Sound of Music, Singing in the Rain. I watched Nashville, which is like a 1979 Robert Altman movie, and which they're all on like the American Film Institute's top 100. So that's the main reason I've been watching them. But putting a lot of time into those.
Jared, what you said you was 20 away from that list?
Yep, I've watched 80 of them, and I've watched the top 25 on both the 1997 and the 2007 list.
How many years do they do it? Do they do it every 10 years?
No, they didn't do it last year, so maybe they're waiting to like 25th anniversary, or maybe they won't do it again. I hope I can finish it before they put out a new one and take some movies off. Because
can you imagine trying to compile that list now with as many films? I mean, you got to think like in '97. If you think, and we've talked about, I think we talked this way back, like on our first or second episode. Yep. How many movies, like just from like the 1940s to like the 60s, and then up into the 90s? Like now, it's ridiculous with like Netflix and everything else. That it's crazy.
Yeah, but your good ones always hold up. I mean, has there been Lord of the Ring, like another Lord of the Rings since? A better movie than one of those in 2007.
Probably not.
That I mean, and that was way back on the list. That one's in between 70 and 100. And that was the Fellowship. So,
you know what wasn't as good as Lord of the Rings?
What?
The Hobbit, because it's trash.
Yeah, it wasn't as good or as
Hobbit was not very good. Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Jared, I got a question for you. Have you? Do your kids, when they play PlayStation, do they have any trouble like holding the controller? Like, is the controller too big for them or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, Molly, she's 4, she has trouble like the top trigger buttons, and she doesn't use the joysticks very much. Or if she does use the the toggles in the middle, then she can't go back and use the she has a hard transition. But we mostly keep her on like the creative mode so she can just go around. She flies around and plays. So
they make, I've been seeing that they make that it's a third-party remote, but it's like a mini controller for PlayStation. I don't know if you guys have seen it. That it's apparently specifically made for like kids or like younger kids. And I thought about getting it just to have, just to have him, when I have either my nephews over or as Ellie gets older. But I was just wondering if that's a problem.
If I'm not mistaken, those are wired, right?
I think they are wired. Yeah.
When Bob starts teaching his kid to play video games, he's like, "Okay, you get this far and you stop."
Hey, listen, I'm about to drop some knowledge bomb on you here in a minute, buddy. You keep talking that garbage.
You stop right here. This is all you play.
No, we don't go past
already
this
talking.
Look, you got further than I did because you went 2 steps beyond this point.
Listen, you went further enough to say, yeah, it's one of the greatest games ever, okay? Jared, what's next on the list, man?
Well, I'm watching West Side Story right now just because it's streaming. I had a couple on my Netflix DVD account, but we went ahead and canceled it. So I'll probably watch like 1 or 2 a month because, it's easy to rent for, $2 on standard definition. For a lot of those movies, you don't need it in HD. So I am looking forward to there's one with James Stewart and, gosh, I can't remember the other actor in it. It's called It Happened One Night. And I didn't know James Stewart was in it because he's like my favorite actor of all time. So James Stewart and Humphrey Bogart, maybe. I think they're in. It's made in like 1940. So I'm looking forward to that one. I don't know if there's any left on the list past maybe 75 or so.
How many of them had Bogart in it?
I'm gonna say, well, I know Casablanca's on there.
Is the Maltese Falcon on there?
Yes, I did watch Maltese Falcon recently too, just because it was on there. And then African Queen, and I loved African Queen. I thought it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, so that's at least 4.
There was a movie I watched the other night with him in it. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up, but I'll tell you when I find it. That was really good.
Well, Jared, I expect to have an update every week or every time we do this podcast now until you reach the final one. Jared, I can't. We was talking about Netflix. And we was talking about we pay like 11. We got a 4K TV, so we pay like $11 for it or whatever for the 4K stuff. I'm sorry, it went up to 14. I was told, and so we was joking the other day because really the only thing that gets watched on Netflix now is a kid show called Word Party, and also we are big fans of the Great British Bake Off, and so my daughter Meredith loves the 2 hosts and Paul and Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood, and then the 2 hosts that are on there. So she just like their voices. She just likes them, and so we joke that we're paying Netflix $14 a month for basically 2 shows. So totally understand the non-use of Netflix. I find the reason I kind of kept it was because Disney was kind of putting some of their newer stuff on there, but it's super slow. Like Guardians 2 just now got on there. I was kind of waiting for Thor to get on there. I don't know when it'll be on there, but it's not going to be this month. So
we watch a ton of Netflix. It seems like every time we buy one of the movies that ends up on Netflix, I think we bought Captain Underpants because Molly wanted to see it. And then like the next month it was on Netflix. We got the kids the Emoji Movie for Christmas.
It's on Netflix.
January, it popped up on Netflix. But the kids watch most of their stuff on there, and we split time mostly between it and Hulu, unless there's something else, like when Silicon Valley or Game of Thrones comes back on, we'll watch HBO Go. Or if there's, usually I try to keep up with all the new stuff, all the new movies come out, and I'll try to get to those if I want to see any of them once a month. I still need to go watch Logan on HBO Go because it's
such a good movie. I have it. If you can't get it, but it's on HBO Go, I've got it on Blu-ray.
Oh well, I mean, it's been up there a long time. I just hadn't been around to watching it yet.
That name of that movie I was talking about, the Humphrey Bogart movie, is called In a Lonely Place.
I've not watched it yet.
Oh, it's super good. I had never seen it before, and it was on one of the old movie channels. Dad and I sat there and watched it one day.
See, I used to have until I actually sat down and watched some of the old movies. You kind of take them for granted, I guess. You're like, oh, it's black and white. But then once I actually started making myself sit down and watch them, I've really enjoyed a lot of them. Like African Queen, I was like, I don't know. It's about, Humphrey Bogart and this woman basically are taking this boat down the river in Africa. And
I would hope so by the name of the movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's those two, for the whole movie just about without anybody else. And, I guess you just kind of take some of those older actors for granted on how good they were with the limited amount of technology. Just like The Sound of Music, I was telling Aaron and them, it had me from the beginning. We were watching the Beauty and the Beast remake they did.
Oh, it's good.
It is awesome, but the scene where she's singing and she goes to the top of the hill, if you go and watch the extra features on it,
it's
like
green
that,
screen.
there's nothing behind it. I mean, that's not the view. But if you go watch The Sound of Music, that's the actual footage.
Right.
They don't shoot in locations like that anymore. And that was one thing that hooked me right off the bat, because that's one of the places I want to visit.
I always, what got me on that scene is that she ran all the way that far. I mean, uphill.
And could still sing and not be out of breath.
Yeah, and like ballerina flats or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she's an athlete.
Our life with the sound of music.
So Joe's making fun of me, and he's telling me I don't finish games. I finished 5 games since the last time that we have convened here to talk about our geeky ways.
Which tells you how long it's been.
Well, funny enough, I finished.
That's the most you've ever finished in your life.
I finished more than 5, man. Come on now. Gotta give me a little bit of credit. So the Nintendo Switch is awesome. It allows me to play some. My daughter Meredith, the last 2 months, only will allow her mother to get her to sleep. And so I have tried everything. I have rocked her as well sometimes, and it's just she wants mom. So
It'll come around.
I just sit on the end of the couch and I play Switch and do what she tells me to when she wants me to do something for her. So I finished up Mario. Go ahead, Daniel.
It'll come back around.
That's what she keeps telling me. She said one day we will, it'll
switch.
It won't dad.
It does.
So
yeah.
Which is fine. But I tell her all the time, I'm like, I've been trying to clean house and stuff like that. And I said, I gotta do something. Like, I can't take, like, she will not let me put her to sleep at night. I can't comfort her. I said, you've got to let me do something. I will clean the house. I want to feel like a good husband. So, so I've been trying real hard. But anyway, so, I finished up Mario Odyssey in January. And when I say finished up, I meant the main story. There's still tons to left in it. And my definition of finishing a game is you get to the end, like whatever campaign or whatever. That's my ending. And then if I go back and play more, it's awesome. I count those as completed if I do 100% or whatever on it. So I finished up Mario Odyssey. I jumped right into Golf Story. Spent about 20 hours in Golf Story. I think it was around 20 hours in Golf Story. Golf kind of RPG, 16-bit stuff, which was really cool. Then I put about 5 hours into a game called Azure Gunvolt. What was the last part of that? Some kind of weird anime game, but it was by the guy that I think I talked about on the last podcast. By the guy that did Mega Man 2, Inafune picked up was Mega Man 2. I think is the guy that ended up doing it. And then I've played Shovel Knight, which I got about halfway through on the Wii U. And because it's the Wii U, I just didn't finish it. So I ended up buying the treasure trove thing they had on sale for like $20. Usually, it's usually a lot more than that, but it comes with that and the other 2 expansions. So I finished Shovel Knight. God, that game is so good. And then I just finished up the Mummy Demastered, which I don't know if we've. It's basically a tie-in to the new Mummy movie. You know how bad that is. But it's like a Metroidvania, Contra, Castlevania, 16-bit retro look. It is really, really good. It's it's very. If you've ever played Metroid or any type of Metroid game, it's very Metroid. But the way that you power up, the bosses are big. That's where the Contra part comes in. All the bosses are kind of grotesque and kind of crazy looking. But it's good. It's really good. So I finished all 5 of those. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to start Okami for the PlayStation 4, the remake, because I've never played it, and I got it cheap on Amazon, so I decided to maybe do that. I've got Shadow of the Colossus remake on the backlog too. But yes, it's a Switch. I mean, I play when there's if I take a break at work, I'm playing. If there's like some time between phone calls, I play. Where I'm not kind of don't really have nothing else to do, and but it's been cool to just kind of play some, set it down, play some, set it down. A lot what the Vita was to me, except obviously you're getting more console games. Like it's actually a console game you're playing. So when people talk about how the Switch has changed how they kind of play games, it's definitely changed how I kind of play games. It allows me to kind of, with a 10-month-old that, I can play for a little bit, put it down, play for a little bit, put it down, and not feel like I'm constantly turning on a system, turning on my TV, getting everything going, and then having to turn everything off and kind of do it that way. So it's given me a really good balance of play. So, but I've also been keeping like a gaming journal. So I've been kind of writing down my thoughts and stuff because I plan on writing a lot of reviews for these. I'm trying to get some of the stuff back up on the site a little bit more. But yeah, I want to start doing that as well. But it's just been fun. I enjoyed every one of them. They're not perfect games by any stretch, but minus Mario. Mario's pretty much as polished as a video game can get. But I enjoyed every one of them so far. And there's a bunch of other indie games that is coming out. I talked about how the Switch. I was talking to one of my buddies at Travis actually at work, and was talking about, I thought I'd just download a bunch of games, but a lot of these indie publishers are putting out physical copies of them, which is pretty cool. And so I've been buying a lot of like $20, $30 physical copy of games instead of getting the digital stuff. So, but it's cool, man. I'm super, I think that's maybe the best system, maybe the best idea in video games in quite some time. It'll be interesting to see how, Microsoft and Sony either, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think the Switch is pretty cool. And it's allowed me to finish a lot of games that last year I would have never finished. So yeah, so I was so stoked about this podcast. I was like, if makes fun of me, I'm 5 down, man. Already 5 down. So I was pretty stoked. But all right. So yeah, other than that, that's basically about it. That's all I've been doing. Oh, and I did pick up NBA 2K18 for it, which was. That's usually a PS4 game for me. It's usually a console game. Sports games are usually console games for me. Man, it is so rad to play a AAA sports title on the Switch. It works out really well. It doesn't look as good undocked. Obviously, you're not going to get the same horsepower that you get with the PS4. But in terms of playing, in terms of how the player models even looks on a small screen, in terms of how it kind of depowers it down. Most of the stuff is on there in terms of they didn't really skip on any of the game modes, but it's a pretty. It gets me hopped up for like the next iteration of these games, where they have it for like the whole 3-year cycle, and they can or the year cycle, and be able to maximize it in both the dock. I can't remember the last time I docked it, but both the dock and undocked. That game's pretty impressive. I mean, it's crazy to think that, we talk about the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance and stuff, how awesome it was to get that. And then you look at the Switch, you're like, I'm playing NBA 2K18 in my hands, and it looks awesome and it plays really awesome, which is pretty cool. But that one I was a little bit worried about, but actually it's pretty neat. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Been playing a bunch of games, really good games. So, yeah. So, to all you guys for making fun of me. So.
If you complete 15 games this year,
I'll do it. I'm well on my way to 10 already. I'll finish 10 by June.
We will bag you an ice cream cake and we'll celebrate.
Okay. I'm holding you to it, brother.
Okay.
All right. A couple episodes from now, we'll do a live podcast of us celebrating my triumphant 15th game, and I'll throw a pie in Joe's face or something. Is that part of the deal?
I didn't say that. But if we do that, it's got to be a pie that I like.
Okay, that's fine. That's a good concession.
Not just whipped cream, Joe.
Okay, whipped cream works.
All right. So yeah, let's move into our main topic. We just kind of discussed some topics tonight, and Daniel threw out a good one in terms of, I think, still kind of playing up the yearly thing. I know we're into the 1st of March, but we do still have some 2018 geek goals, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's early enough in the year to continue to kind of think about what we kind of want to complete or read or watch or whatever it may be. So Daniel's coming up with that subject, and then Jared kind of put in another chapter on it. Says, what items in 2018 do you finally want to play, watch, read, etc.? And that's something that's maybe it's been sitting on the shelf for a while, or maybe something that you have part of and you kind of want to finish it this year or something like that, and you just hadn't got around to it. Or in Jared's case, just watch movies you've never seen. Trying to find those secret vault underneath like the White House that has all those, secret movies and stuff underneath it. I think it's a great topic, and we'll start it off. And Jared, go ahead and start us off. What kind of 2018 geek goals you got?
Well, I have a bunch of books. I guess this kind of ties into both of mine. I've got a bunch of books sitting on the shelf. I picked up, like the Chronicles of Narnia when the first movies come out. I got the big volume that's got all of them in one. I think I read the first two and then haven't picked it up since. I've got The Princess Bride, which I've had since
You've had that for a while.
Before me and Robin were married. So more than 10 years, and I've maybe read a quarter of it. I've got The Stand. I'm about 300 pages into 1,000, which I'm currently reading it right now. I think I'm almost page 400, so I'm almost halfway done with it. I've also got like The Count of Monte Cristo. I want to, I kind of let some of that go last year or the past couple years because I really love to read, but I'm going to try. We had the hammock set up a couple weeks ago, and I was laying outside in it trying to read some. So I think that's what my big goal for the year is, to finish some of these books that I've had forever. I think I texted you when I picked up the hardback for Mouse for like $15 off Amazon. I started reading it. I think I read the first couple pages and then I hadn't picked it back up since. So, again, one of those.
In defense of that, Mouse is pretty heavy. Like, it's not a fun. I mean, it's a good read, but it's not a fun read.
Well, I think at the time not at the time then, but now, and this also kind of goes into my goals. I've got a bunch of movies set on the shelf that I haven't watched. I've watched on Netflix, and then I bought the Blu-ray and never went back and watched the Blu-ray. I've got Amadeus.
Every so often I'll get a text from Jared says, I'm cleaning out my movies.
Yeah, which I got a whole bunch of them sitting there. I need to sell them. But I got like Amadeus.
Amadeus.
I went back and bought Firefly when they re-released it on Blu-ray. But when I was sick and had the flu, I sat down and watched Fury, which I'd already watched it once, but I've got the physical copy. So I was like, I have it. I'm going to sit down and watch it. I did the same with Band of Brothers. I bought it at Christmas. So I was on a World War II kick there for a little bit. So I think those are my main two goals are, to clean out my books and to go through these movies that I've just got sitting on the shelf.
Which one would be more of an accomplishment this year?
If I get through the books, because I mean I've got I think The Stand is like 1,100 pages, and then The Count of Monte Cristo is another maybe 300 net out of 1,200, and then I've got pretty much the whole series of the Chronicles of Narnia. So
hey, Jared,
I think that would be the biggest accomplishment.
That the way you read, you should be able to finish Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah,
too.
Like The Stand, it's pretty heavy, and it's got small print on there. So I'm trying to do about 10 pages, about 5 days a week. Which there's a lot of times I would just sit and I wouldn't read it all for months. But I'm trying to not make myself, but I sit down and I enjoy it. And sometimes if I can sit down and start reading, if I start reading at 10, then, I'll look up and it's 11 and time has flown by. So I think those are my big two. And,
Rich,
there's a couple places. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to ask you, which order is that big Chronicles of Narnia book, haven't we?
I can't.
We've had this discussion at some point, I think.
I think we did. It's got the one with the magician.
Okay,
Is
so
first.
Magician's Nephew's first. Okay.
Yeah. So I've read that one, and I think I read which one's the next in the order?
Lion, the
Joe?
Witch, and Wardrobe.
Okay, and I've started the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So
Right.
I don't think that one would be too hard to get through.
No.
But
When you read it, you should go back and read it in the other way, the way that he wrote, or the way that he wrote them.
okay.
Because it's kind of cool because Magician's Nephew's kind of in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Is that the one where it tells how Narnia has come about with the lamp? Okay, yeah, that's the one I read first.
Yeah, I mean that's the way you're supposed to read them, but it's kind of cool to
Okay.
read it the other way too.
Oh, okay.
Because it's kind of like a
do that.
backstory right in the middle of it.
Yeah. And two of my other goals one other goal for the year, we've been trying to get outdoors more and do some hiking and stuff like that. And there's a place down Asheville I really want to go. And then there's the place in Lebanon that I didn't even know about, or hardly anybody knew about till one of my friends went here recently. So try to get out and, enjoy the outdoors more. I think we get kind of cooped up too much inside and don't enjoy what we have. So
it's been super
kind
cold.
of my goal.
Winter's kind of like, you're kind of glad you're inside, but then once it kind of gets into, you're like, man, I really wish I could go outside for a little bit.
Yeah, that last week, or was it about 2 weeks ago, when we had a couple weekend days that were like 65.
Yep.
I stayed outside both of those days. So I'm gonna try to make that more of a conscious goal, because sitting inside cooped up isn't good for you.
Nope. You can be a geek about hiking. I know a lot of geek hikers out there. Every weekend they're finding some kind of new trail or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got some. Robin got me some hiking poles for Christmas, and there's the place down Asheville, and then I'd like to go down to Grandfather Mountain too. Down there, right past Galax, out that way. There's some pictures up on top of there. A chimney rock down in Asheville. So I'm going to try to get to at least one of those this year.
Is it the Chimney Rock? Is that the one that has the mile-long swinging bridge too?
Oh, I don't know. I've not seen it.
I think it's one of them down in North Carolina that does.
Joe, what about you, man?
Goals for this year?
Yeah.
I've been reading the Book of Magic, so I'd like to get finished with that.
For people that don't know, it's Neil Gaiman's first Vertigo. Did he do that before Sandman? I'm pretty sure he did that before Sandman.
No, Sandman was before, I think.
Okay. For some reason, I thought Book of Magic was before.
I might be wrong, because I know... Yeah, Google it, because the same death that's in Sandman is in Book of Magic, so I don't know which one came first. I think Sandman came first. That's another one that I want to get through is Sandman. I've read the first Sandman, but I've not read any of the other ones, so I have to get through that. Let's see. About like Jared, just a ton of reading that I'd like to do. Ton of reading. Some movies that I haven't watched that I like to watch that's on Netflix. One of the things that I kind of promised myself is, I think everybody knows I'm a huge fan of music. So I told myself this year that I'm getting out and going to more concerts than I have. Which the first one that I'll go to this year, far away, will be Norma Jean in Chicago, which I'm kind of pumped for. Be what, the third time that I've seen them?
I think so.
Yeah. Third time that I've seen them, and they put on a great show. And there's a couple other shows I'd like to go to if I can get off work and go save up my vacation time. I'm taking most of it to go to Chicago, but Blue October's gonna be in Louisville. I'd like to go see them. Of course, I'd like to go see Clutch. Their little spring run that they're doing has an awesome lineup. It's them and the Bronx and Red Fang and Fireball Ministry, and that would be a heck of a show, and I'd love to go see it because I've been wanting to see Red Fang for a long time. So I mean, that's something that I'd like to keep my promise to myself is going to see more music.
Just to interrupt right quick, yeah, Sandman was first. Yeah, it
Okay.
came out in '89, and Books of Magic came out in '90.
Yep. Harry Potter. No, sorry. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, but seriously. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, there's some games that I'd like to finish. I like to play through all of Final Fantasy X and X2, which I got tonight at Walmart for like $14.
There you go.
Yeah, so
the
for
PS4 version.
Yeah, I have the PS3, but I don't like playing where it's the first generation. I don't like playing it for that long. Just because I don't know why it'll probably hold up, but I don't want to run the risk of it overheating or anything. But I pretty much just play football on it now. But I got the PS4 version tonight, so I'd like to play through it. I like to finish LA Noire, which I finished it on PS3, but I like to finish the PS4 version. So I've got a couple things I'd like to do.
Sounds like a pretty good list. I'll let Daniel go last since this is kind of his thing here. I'll save the best for last. Me personally, like I think that the biggest thing that I kind of want to do is just, getting more games done. I think there's a lot of games on my Switch. I like to be able to clear my Switch games or some that I haven't got to yet that I like to finish, especially with some of the ones coming up. I've been trying to do like a, almost like a beat a game, get a game type of thing, to kind of limit what I buy, but be able. So, I think I pre-ordered one game after I beat the second one this year, and got that. So, and I've been looking at, kind of staying more in tune with like the indies and stuff. Those games are $10-20 and usually, are getting better and better in terms of how they're treated. So just continue to play, more games. In this case, maybe utilize my PS4 more, at some point during the year. The other things, continue to do my game journal. I think that's awesome. It's really kind of let me look at games in a different way in terms of, what I don't like and what I do like. And it's hard for me to be negative about something because you always think about who's working it and stuff like that. I know we make fun of some games here or there that are universally, bad, but it's also helped me to kind of look at the negatives in games and what I don't and do and don't like in games, which I, have always kind of done. It's like the surface stuff, but, kind of looking a little bit deeper in terms of, why don't I like this or what could have they done better to make me like this or stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool about looking at them more critically. One of the big things in my geek goals is kind of catch up on the Marvel movies before Avengers comes out in April. And Disney didn't do me no favors because they scooted it up a week from May 5th to the 27th to be able to do that. So just trying to catch up with those guys and just finishing some games and stuff. And I'll talk about some exact ones that I would like to do in the next topic. But that's kind of roughly kind of a, just continue to do what I'm doing game wise, get to 15 so Joe can throw me a party and kind of go from there. So Daniel, what about you, man?
Well, let me ask you, what Marvel movies do you have left to watch?
Oh God. Now I'm not talking about like I'm not watching like the first Captain America. I got about a quarter of the way through that and I was like, I don't need to see this. It's just super, super boring to me. I need to see both Thors. I haven't seen Dark World or Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is so good.
Ragnarok is awesome.
I need to see Black Panther, obviously a new one. Actually, I may not be as far behind as I think I am because I saw Doctor Strange. I've seen Guardians 2. Saw the Last Avengers, or obviously the Last Avengers movie. I think the only ones that I'm really lacking are the Thor movies and Black Panther. So I'm not too far behind. It's just I'm trying to figure out.
Did you see Spider-Man?
I haven't seen Spider-Man. That's the fourth one. Yeah, I haven't seen Spider-Man.
For the world's
those
biggest,
four I need to finish.
For a big Spider-Man fan, and you haven't watched the best
I know.
Spider-Man movie we've
Here's
ever
the thing.
got.
Here's the thing that bothers me about that Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I'm not going to get into a big. I kind of want an older Peter Parker, and I've said this 1,000 times, and I know you guys are laughing because we talked about this 1,000 times. I like Peter Parker in high school. It's great. It's cool, but I want like an older Peter Parker because when I started reading Spider-Man, he was older. He was married. He, was struggling with his job, trying to make a rent. And that to me is a much more interesting Peter Parker. Even as a kid, I thought that was a much more interesting Peter Parker when I would go read other stuff. Like I love Ultimate Spider-Man. I like how that teenager was portrayed, which I think is a lot of what they've done here. But even then, I'm just like, man, I just rather read the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I want to see more adult Spider, which is weird, but it is what it is. So that's the only thing, and I know it's good, and I know I'll love it when I see it because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. But it just fell in a really weird spot too, in terms of trying to, go see, which I think that came out near, like a month before we had, or maybe actually after we had Mayors in May. So it was just a weird spot to try to figure out when the, as a new parent, you're scared. And even to this point now, not like, we're veterans or anything, but we do get, you get scared about leaving and stuff like that. So just, new parent stuff. But yeah, I need to catch up on those 4. And if I do that, that's fine. I need to go see Black Panther though, because I won't have time. Because the DVD or the Blu-ray, I don't think would come out before Avengers would drop. So we have to kind of make a concession and go see that one first. But trying to catch up.
Hey, Jared and Joe, have you all seen Black Panther?
No.
No, okay.
Andrew has, and he says this. I won't speak. I mean, he can go in to next time he's on, but he liked it a lot. Like he liked it an awful lot.
I won't get to see it before Adventures comes out, so I'm wondering if I need to. I wonder if it's like a necessary chain or if it's just a good side story or what.
I don't think it's essential to the Avengers.
Okay.
But I think there's one thing about it. I'm not going to ruin it. I wasn't ruined on Twitter, but somebody mentioned something that was pretty significant coming up that would kind of be a direct tie to the new Avengers movie. But it's also an origin story. So, I mean, I don't think that they would have enough time to really tie a bunch of things in. But yeah, so.
I've not seen Spider-Man either, so I need to watch that.
Well, I need to watch it. Well, it's hard. Unlike Jared, it's hard for me to sit down and watch movies. I don't know why it's hard for me. It just is. Like, we'll try to figure out a movie and I just won't be into it. But yeah, so I don't know.
Hey, Jared.
Yeah.
He said something about Thor Ragnarok. Did you not think that it was like 2 separate movies?
Yeah, I mean,
it had that feel.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it was really cool. Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed Dark World too, and I may have been, I love Thor, but I think Ragnarok, it would be right behind Guardians. Well, it'd be up there with Guardians 2, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
It's up there with Doctor Strange with me. Like,
yeah, Doctor Strange was really good.
Doctor Strange was really good.
Yeah, like that, it's probably my favorite Marvel movie so far, and then Thor is right up there with it. Ragnarok is.
All right, Daniel, what's your goals?
So are we talking about just our goals, or are we talking about what we want to play, or what's the?
Just roughly goals, like what maybe. Like Jared said, you want to read more books type of thing. And then we'll kind of go into more here in a second. But
all right, well, I have a specific goal, so I'll get right into it.
Okay.
So, and of course, it has to do with trophies, so don't roll your eyes too much.
Oh, Lord. I'll see you next week.
All right. So I started this year with 160 platinums. And I started thinking 160. Okay, so I started thinking like, man, it'd be cool if I could get to 200. It's a nice round number, right? So I was like, man, maybe I could do it in a couple years. Maybe I could get there. Well, I've decided I'm going to try to do it in 1 year.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay, I'm going to try to get 40 in 1 year. And I've been doing the math, and of course I have to get 10 every quarter, which is going to be, which I think I can do it like the first 3 months maybe, but I don't know if I can do it.
What you do is you do the most you can in the first 3 months, where if you do fall behind,
Exactly.
You're not behind.
Go ahead, Jerry.
You're already half a quarter down. How far have you made it?
I've got 9. I've got 9 here.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really good.
but it's a little. I'm cheating just a little bit because I got Horizon on January
Platinum
2nd.
guys always cheat.
It's like I got that one on January 2nd because I played it all of November and December.
Well, I counted Mario Odyssey and I got I beat that January 5th. So
yeah, so things like that. Yeah. But I'm going to try it and see how it goes. So, but I've set ground rules for myself. If my family comes first, if at any time I'm playing too much, I got to stop. Or my job comes right after that, obviously. It's going to be quantity over quality. All right. So if I'm playing,
I was just about to ask, are you
every Telltale game I'm playing, right? Every visual novel I can get my hands on, right? That's fine. It doesn't matter. So things like that. But I'm gonna see how it goes. I really feel like I'm gonna make it till June, and then be like, I can't do this anymore. It's just I can't do this.
So well, I was going to ask you about the quality over quantity thing. Those are still quality games. You're still
they're great games,
good games, right?
Yes, now, but you're not playing. You're not getting difficult trophies.
Sure. And right. So, Greg Miller is a big platinum Sony guy. He's got a bunch of platinums and all that stuff. Yeah. And he always talks about finding games just to do platinums. There's really crappy games on, which he always, funny thing is he always talks about how bad, nobody curates the Sony store and there's a bunch of crappy stuff on there, but he takes advantage of that crappy stuff, which I always thought was very funny. So I was going to ask you, are you kind of hunting out just little easy ones, or are you legitimate games?
Oh yeah, no, always. You're always looking for Barbie Dream House or something like that.
You can set your daughter down in front of that and be like, "Here, watch me play."
Yeah, exactly.
I got a new Barbie movie for you.
So I almost always look up the trophy guide and just see how hard it is. There actually is a Barbie game at my local GameStop that I thought about getting, but apparently it's really boring. So I just I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But
a real platinum guy would be boring, whatever.
I tell you what I am doing though. In all seriousness, I'm looking at multiple versions of games in other regions. Mm-hmm. So beating a game a second time for another region. So I now have a Japanese PSN account, a UK PSN account, and a Hong Kong PSN account, just in case I get some games that on sale that I can get.
Yeah, by June we'll be having an intervention.
Exactly. And I imported The Walking Dead from Japan, the original Walking Dead. So I've now platinumed that original game 4 times. so yeah, there may be an intervention come June or July, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
That may be the greatest thing I'll hear all year.
I
got Japanese, I got UK, and I've got, what's the other one? Hong Kong,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll see how it goes.
I say it's already off to a great start. Already.
It is. I think I'm going to get around 12-ish for this quarter, but
there you go.
After that, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. I've been cleaning up ones that I've left out, and after that, I don't know if we'll be able to keep up the pace.
I think that, and it's a lot of money. So obviously you got to kind of wait for some sales to come across.
Yeah, you got to wait for sales, and to be honest, I do have a lot just kind of sticking around that I've never gotten around to playing. Like especially the Telltale games. I pretty much have every Telltale game at somewhere. Either I got it cheap on a download or I got it cheap in store. Some of them I've been able to play and some of them I haven't. So
I will say this: I have adopted probably a little bit, probably early last year, maybe in middle. I have adopted the Jared Collins type of thing where you just wait for those games to go on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I finally, after years of him telling me, "Why you buy it brand new, man? Just wait. It'll go on sale. I promise."
Hey, I still haven't bought Fallout 4 or Metal Gear Solid 5. It's been 2 years now. I'm waiting for a Prime Days when they're $10 a piece. And then I'll never get around to playing them.
You can probably find them at GameStop cheaper new than they are used.
I know.
That's true. I mean, I've even price matched some stuff here or there. So,
hey, when I lived in Lebanon, the Walmart knew when I came in they knew me as the press match guy because I would come in and buy video games and press match them to Amazon all the time.
Walmart and Norton doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, don't do it anymore. No.
The Lebanon one doesn't
Really?
either. I bet you ruined it for all of us, Joe.
I probably did.
No, I think I probably did up here because like I ended up getting as a side note, Sears had Nintendo 3DSs for like $60 one time on their website. And I think it was a glitch. And it was the XLs, like it was the expensive one. And I was scrolling through Twitter and Wario was like, I don't know if this is legit, but apparently Walmart will do this price match. And so I went up there and got 2 of them. And I said, this is a price match. So I showed them, I said, this is an active page. This isn't just a screenshot, stuff like that. And the woman looked at me, she goes, you must be the luckiest guy on this planet. I said, darn tootin' I am. And
he told me about it. He told me about it, and I went up there and got one. And I had I had refreshed it. I had opened it up twice, and I refreshed it on one of them, and the price had been changed or something like that.
Oh.
So I went back to the old one. I was like, please don't refresh. Please don't refresh. And the girl just kind of looked at it and was like, yeah, this is legit. And tapped it in. I was like, yeah.
I'd have grabbed like 5 of them and turned around.
I think I ended up getting, it was only the blue one, and it had to be the same color. Like they wouldn't do the price match if it was different color. So I think I ended up picking up the last 3 blue ones, ended up giving one away for a Christmas present, and then I sold the other 2 for like 100. I think one for 100 and one for 135. So I ended up making a pretty good little chunk of money off of it.
We also went looking for the Ryu, the Luigi Mansion Ryu, because it was on sale for super cheap on Sears too, and Walmart.
Yeah, Sears had like a bunch of glitches. They had like a Wii U for like $70 or something.
Yeah,
and that was like when everybody was looking at it.
Walmart caught that one and pulled it off the shelves. They said they didn't have any, but they pulled it off the shelf so they wouldn't have to pay.
Like, we're gonna beat them Collier brothers. Yeah, so just a little bit of the side there. So let's talk about I can't wait to hear Daniel's. This is going to be between Jared's movie list and Daniel's platinum list. This should be really entertaining the next couple episodes. So let's talk about, and this is Jared's question: what items in 2018 do you finally want to play, watch, read, etc.? And these are things that's probably been sitting on a shelf for a while. It's not because they're bad or you don't want to play them; you just haven't found the time, or maybe got into something else. Joe, what's something that's been like sitting on a shelf? You keep looking at, I really need to watch that. Really need to read that. What's kind of your one?
I really need to beat Shadow of Mordor, so I can play the newest one. Because I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I really enjoyed those games, or that game, I should say, where I was playing it. But it's packed in a box. It got packed with my kitchen stuff somehow, and I can't find it. So, I can't do that. But for now, I thought about going buying a new copy of the first one because
they got the Game of the Year one out now. You could get all the DLC and stuff to go with it.
So, but I want to do that because I think it's. I've almost bought the second one and just started playing it. But the first one, like if you play through it, the second one brings back like the orc that gave you the most trouble. So I would really like to see. I would really like to do that. I think that's pretty cool.
Cool. Daniel, what about you, man?
I really want to get to The Witcher 3. I really want to play that, and I know I love it, and I know it'll be good, but. Like I think I've talked about it before. It's just it's just daunting. So I want to start it this year. I really want to, really bad.
That better be the last game on your list because if you try to platinum, it's gonna take forever.
Well, I don't think it'll be one. I think it's one I'm gonna have to play intermittently. But that's one of the other rules is I'm not gonna let the goal distract me from playing games that I actually want to play. So if there's a game that I really want to play,
you'll never make it.
If there's a game that I really need to play, and that's what it's going to be. But I really want to play that. I just haven't been able to get over the hump yet. So hopefully this year I get to it.
Awesome. For me, there's a couple things I need to read. And one of them I don't want to read because it'll finish it. I'll never get any more of these, and that's Fables. I've got all the volumes. I think I got up to volume 22, and I think there's 25 or something. 21, I can't remember. But I'm up to 22, and I picked up 25 maybe like 6 months ago, and so I've got 23, 24, and 25 to read. I love that series.
You said that you thought that there was 25 of them or 20 or
no,
20 of them.
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was there's 25 of them, but I couldn't remember if I was at 21 or 22.
Okay.
Sorry.
You confused me there for a second.
Yeah. Let me clarify. Yeah, it's a real weird series. I'm 22, but I'm on 21. But it's only 21 trades long.
Are you buying the the hardcover trades? Is that what you're getting?
No, I've got all the soft covers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I started buying the soft covers, and I'm one of those guys that I don't do stuff. I would love to buy the big volumes of them and have them on the shelf. But at this point, I like my shelves to be uniform, so I'll just keep buying the soft ones. It's a weird me and shelves and what I put on there. It's a weird thing. But yeah, so I want to finish that, and that's it. Like that's the end of it. So it saddens me because I love that story so much. The other thing is Starman. We talked about Starman earlier. Ended up picking up. Amazon had one more left on sale. I got it for $13, the $50 book for $13, big hardcover, and then I picked up one for like $30 and finished it off. So I got 5. I got 5 and 6 was the 2 that I was looking at. Such a great story too, and that's just something that I got that one for $3. Like, you know what? I never finished that. Like, I wonder how many's out and the rest of them's out. So I'm going to try to finish it up this year. The other thing is,
go ahead,
Daniel.
I was going to piggyback off that, but you go ahead and finish.
Yeah. The other thing is, there's a couple retro games I really need to play, there's a lot of them that I really need to play, but 4 in particular, Super Metroid. I started, but then I started the Mummy Demastered, which is really close to what Super Metroid is. So I'll probably pull back on that just a bit because it's almost the same game. Final Fantasy VI, I'm about halfway through, and Chrono Trigger and Super Castlevania 4, which I'm about halfway through. So Chrono Trigger is the big one. I really would like to play it and add Earthbound to that as well. I would, these aren't super long games compared to like the PS1 RPGs. They're like 80 hours, a lot of fluff. You can get through Chrono Trigger if you just wanted to do, whatever ending you get. It's like 25 hours. So it's not super, super long. Same for, Earthbound. I think Earthbound's like 25 hours. So they're not super long games compared to, the PS1 RPGs we kind of all grew up on. So I think I can knock a couple of those out this year if I can just find the time to sit down and kind of play them. But there's definitely a lot of games I need to play, and I've started to weed out my collection. Like my PS1 collection is almost done. As far as what I've sold, I'm only keeping like a handful of stuff. My PlayStation 2 collection is pretty much gone besides Jared's Fire Pro Wrestling he gave me. That's the only one I kept. So most of that stuff's gone. I'm just trying to clean some stuff out. I've got rid of some Super Nintendo stuff and Genesis stuff, but I need to figure out which games that, I got the Retro Freak, so I got them all on there. I need to figure out, is this something I want to keep and treasure and be like pass it on to my kids or whatever as a physical copy, or, kind of get rid of. So
let me, I was going to piggyback off what you said. I really love the Telltale games like we were talking about, but I think the Wolf Among Us is my favorite, like by far. I don't know. Have you played it? Did you ever get to play it?
I haven't played it because I didn't finish the series and I didn't know what it touched on, where I was at, so I didn't want to get spoiled for the main series. I love Bigby. Bigby's one of my favorite characters of all time. Just a really, really cool character.
Well, of course, I played the game, and that got me into the series. And I've read maybe 8 or 9 of the. I've been buying like the books, the hardcover books, because that's what I found on Amazon. I've read through 7 or 8 of those, and I love the game, and I really got into the series. Yeah. So
it took me. I picked up the first one. Actually, I think I was at UVA Wise when I picked it up, if I'm not mistaken. And I picked it up because I heard some good things about it, and I read it, and I thought, man, I don't know if I like it or not. Like, it just, at that time I was reading a lot of superhero stuff, so I really wasn't getting into more of the non-traditional comics. Definitely non-traditional in terms of how they kind of take that story. And so I think it was like a year or 2, and I picked it up again and reread it. I thought, man, I kind of like this a lot better. I picked up 2, and after that I was hooked. Like, it was just, I picked up 2, and I ended up, I think I had some extra money, probably like 3, 4, and 5, which was all that was out at the time. And man, it's just such a great story, just unbelievable. The characters and the world he's created and the scenarios. I mean, it's super awesome.
I got one that I'd like to finish, and that's Lock and Key.
Oh yeah, you've had Lock and Key for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to get out of the big hardback volumes of it though.
Jerry, what about you, man?
Movie wise, I would like to get through. I think I've got 5 of the Criterion movies. I'd like to. I think the only one I've watched is Dazed and Confused. The others I've seen, I just hadn't watched the disc of them. So I'd like to get through those. And I started Chrono Trigger like 2 years ago. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I picked it up. So I would really like to get through that too. Just any of the movies really that are on my shelves that I bought the physical copy for. I want to sit down and actually watch the physical copy. I think that's would be a big accomplishment to do that. And actually, it wouldn't take that long. I started back when I had the flu with some of those, so it wouldn't be too hard to knock a couple more of those out.
Yeah, I think it's just I think we all have. I mean, as geeks, I think we're automatically collectors of things, and sometimes we get to the point where, I don't know, I'm terrible at it. It's kind of like there's a meme on Twitter that it was like, the old meme, I ain't got nothing to read, and you got like a whole library type of thing. Same for gamers and comic books and movies. You look at the shelf, like, I ain't got nothing to watch, I ain't got nothing to play, and you have like a ton of stuff. And a lot of times for me, it's just getting started. Like it's just, I want to start this, and if I like it, I like it. If not, but I need to start it to figure out if I'm going to finish this stuff. So I think a lot of that just is geekdom. I mean, it's just it's just a bunch of stuff, and you can't figure out what you want to start.
I keep trying to set like a goal, and I'm like, all right, this is the movie I want to watch, so let me get started on it. And once I get started on them, then I'm all right. I've got like the Seventh Seal, which it's subtitled, so if some of those you kind of got to sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna make myself finish it. I had to do Seven Samurai and Yojimbo. When I got ready to watch those, I kind of had to make the conscious effort to be like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and kind of devote this time to this. So that's what I've tried to been doing. Picking one out, maybe one every other week or something, and be like, okay, now this is what I'm going to do. Right. In 2 hours, it doesn't take that much time really to sit down for it.
Yeah, like I forgot how much I enjoyed watching movies until, I guess it was last weekend. I got to watch Jurassic World for the first time.
Yeah, Jurassic World's excellent.
Oh my god, it was such a
movie.
Yeah, such a good movie, and I was like, I forgot how much stress that it just takes off to sit down and just watch a movie and enjoy it, like that.
Yeah, I think it's just like, last year, and sometimes we forget how much you enjoy. Like Joe said, you kind of forget how much you enjoy something. And so for me, like with Zelda and Horizon, I just, it's been a while since I sat down and played a game that I really enjoyed it. And really, one of the pieces up that I want to put up for the side, a game called ActRaiser, just talking about that game. I played that like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, man, I really enjoyed that game. And I think sometimes I know life, we have obviously other responsibilities, other things that we love a lot more important than video games or comics or whatever it may be. But sometimes you kind of forget how much you enjoy that thing that you enjoy. And, Zelda and Horizon, definitely last year maybe be like, man, I just need to play more games. Like I need to figure out, even if I have to like get up earlier or, kind of do stuff out of the ordinary to kind of find some time to do that, because you do enjoy it. And I think life's better when you have more things to enjoy. So, but for me, it's just, that's how I kind of looked at last year. I was like, I really like playing these games. I need to sit down and play more when I have the time. So, because a lot of times, especially in this world, like, how much time do we spend surfing the web or, on Twitter or something like that? And I started to kind of be like, and this isn't me preaching. If you like Twitter, hey, continue to do Twitter or whatever. Because I like Twitter. But, I found out, me and Shauna my wife was talking about it. And, sometimes when we have some free time, like when the baby's asleep or something, we'll watch a movie together, or she'll read and I'll play Switch. And it's just trying to find time instead of just, scrolling through your phone, just reading other people's stuff. You'd be amazed at how much you could, really enjoy of your hobbies if you just kind of set the phone down and kind of, start stuff.
I like to go and watch all the Jim Henson movies, like the workshop movies they done. like
was
the
that Dark Crystal and
Dark Crystal, and the fairy tale one that he done. There's a couple of them that I'd like to go back. I own Dark Crystal, which is one of my favorite movies, but I haven't watched it. I bought it. Golly, I keep. It was near Christmas. It was in like a $5 Blu-ray bin, and I bought it. And I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't yet. So it's just like I bought Baby Driver during on Black Friday. I've had it since Black Friday. Never seen it.
that's a story of everybody at this point.
Yeah. Which I hear is the movie.
I've heard it's a tremendous movie. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time out, like always, to come and talk some geeky stuff here. Andrew will probably be back next episode. And, but yeah, that's about it. Great subjects tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, which you'll hear it at the intro as well. If you don't want to listen to the intro, I'll just tell you, or outro, I should say. At Monsters of Geek on Twitter. We're also on Facebook under Monsters of Geek blog. If you want to go read some of the stuff we put up, we had a lot of articles. We haven't posted one in quite some time, but still working a little bit on that. monstersgeek.com. Go check us out there as well. And then I think that's it. Yeah, go. If you like this show, please subscribe on iTunes. We're on Stitcher, and we're also on Spreaker.com. So any of those three, if you get your podcast, subscribe to us. If you like the show, comment. That helps us to get more boost if you comment on iTunes and stuff like that. So just give us a comment. Give us a review. Tell us what we're doing or what you don't like. And if you have a question, hit us up on Twitter, or you can email monstersofgeek@gmail.com, and we'll pull your question and answer. We like to do more Q&As, so please send us a question. I think we've had one question from one of Jared's friends during, I think it was a wrestling episode, or we was talking about wrestling and we ended up getting it. But yeah, so for Daniel, for our resident Yeti Joe, for Jared, I'm your editor-in-chief Aaron, and we are out.